think I'm crooked. I was crooked. This is late. Let's see if anybody populates. We may not populate tonight. It may be too late for my crew. I think I have a rather tame crew. I think I do. Please let me know if I don't. I have some exciting kind of local news I thought I might share. If anybody likes to travel and go to festivals, I thought I'd share something. I don't know if I have many of my people on, but I'm sure you'll catch this when it replays. Also want to share some channels. If y'all do not, hey, how you doing? I do have crew still up. Hey, I thought I'd get on here and share a couple of channels. So Sharon from the Down Under channel, Down Under True Crime, she's still doing very intense shows, and she's got a very good supportive group of people that have been through different abuse scenarios themselves, and they have created this little community where they're actually, I mean, they're really coming together and actually healing, helping to heal each other through communication and creating dialogues and really kind of doing their own little therapy sessions. It's great. So if y'all will go check her out, that's great. And then we have a sub here that also has a great channel, and if you have heard about the 100-year flood up there in the West Virginia hills and hollers, then you'll love her channel. It's Priscilla D. I watched one where she actually showed you, she's actually there, so you see it from the vantage point of a local, and you see what the countryside looks like now, and then if you go back, you can actually watch documentaries on the other. So for me, it was really neat to get to see the hills and hollers from her vantage, from a local vantage point. So go see Priscilla D's channel, sub, show her some love, because that's going to be an area that not many people get to see like that. So you're going to want to check that out, and go and support Sharon and that wonderful community, especially if you've been through something like that and need other survivors to chit chat with. It's great. It's going to be a healing place for you. It's great. And I really have to say that the last few days, YouTube has been much better behaved. Is that sad that I've noticed that? And I think the initial shock, like everybody freaked out over my video, and then some people took it way too far, but you know. How many people contacted me personally to ask me if it was about them or if they needed to correct something? 0. How many people called to ask me if they, if they could ask my help to make sure they were not crossing boundaries? 0. But they sure wanted to go and think it was about them and take it personal, and I'm just sitting here going, oh, I wish I was so full of myself. I thought everything I saw was about me. Because I feel left out now. But you just have to laugh at it and go on. You just have to know there's some people that can absorb information and some people that won't, and you just have to, when you throw the grits to the chickens, they scratch some of it and they let some of it lay. You just gotta hope that the ones that need it get it. But people were apparently going into Sharon's chats and being verbally abusive toward her and telling her that she was gonna get extradited for 25 years and scaring her to death. And I was like, honey. What I heard was enough for me to make the video, because it told me that people were already thinking about breaching those boundaries. So I made the video. But Tennessee's not gonna pay for a plane ticket from Australia for a smack on the hand. You're okay. But it certainly just didn't need to progress any farther. So I'm glad to see it's calmed down. Everybody's chilled out. And the hate mail has stopped rolling in. Though I will say, I'm just saying, the spelling and the grammatical errors are amusing in themselves. So if you want to keep that up, feel free to send me hate mail. It's entertainment for me when I'm having to sit still. I swear. I just love it. I love it. Especially if you're old and you spell stuff wrong. I love that. You remind me of her. I'm gonna have to look her up now. I know when I talk, people say I sound like that Leanne Morgan. Well, thank you. I'm uplifting. I try to, even when I say things that have to be say strong, I try to say nice. Hi, there's Priscilla. Priscilla's in the chat. Y'all go check out Priscilla's channel. So we've got West Virginia represented really well here. That's great, because if you ask me where the heart of Appalachia is, I would say West Virginia coal mine. Oh, you think I could do it? I barely got a crossbow shot once yesterday. I don't know. I'd have to roll my little rolly cart out there and sit down before I could do stand up. I don't know if it could be technically stand up if I'm sitting down. Oh, Lord. I have a funny way of looking at things. My husband hates to watch horror movies with me because I'm like, you idiot. We have no way of escaping. God give you feet. Run. Well, there's somebody in the house. Well, turn your flashlight off, you idiot. They're going to find you. Let's go hide in the attic. Oh, certainly, yes, because high ground's great, but in the attic, where are you going to go? So my husband hates to watch movies with me. Yeah, I was raised between Tennessee and Kentucky. I've got family in Kentucky, too. So I'm a country girl. I'm going to go get new glasses so I can actually see this stupid screen, or get a bigger setup so I can put my iPad up so I'm not straining to read, because apparently I'm older than I think I am. See, now I'm going to have to look this woman up now. I don't know who in the heck that is. Now I'm going to have to know her. I'm going to have to meet her and go, I'm your doppelganger, give me half your money. I think she'd go with that. I have a laptop, and I have a webcam, but it is such a cumbersome setup. It's just so cumbersome. And I do transcription. Well, I've taken time off with this sickness I've had, but I usually do transcription for an advertising company. I just do a couple of jobs a month. And so, I will give you some money. So my laptop is just used for transcription. Yeah, I know. There's nothing in the attic that we should be more scared about. And I'm like, you're either going to come up on a nest of something, a wasp nest, you're going to fall through, you know, there's going to be a big old rat or a possum named Charles. Anybody watch Nova Rockefeller's music? We got a possum in the ceiling. He's Charles. You got to listen to Nova Rockefeller, My Yard. That's hilarious. Yeah, I watch horror movies. I watched on Discovery Plus, not sponsored. I watched These Woods Are Haunted, and I watched the second episode. It's like the haunted cabin and Bigfoot in the woods. And I'm sitting there in the haunted cabin, and they're like, we listened to the phone ring 100 times, and then we realized it wasn't plugged into the wall. You let it ring 100 times before you look to see if it was plugged into the wall? 100 times? Oh, my husband and I grew up on Andy Griffith. I tell him a lot that he looks like the Darlings because he has no facial expression. Y'all be safe. Y'all be safe. Keep an eye on her. Hope everything goes well. The world's a scary place now. No matter what decision you make in life, the world's a scary place right now. We all need to pray for each other. But yeah, my husband's one of the Darlings. Like he when he played his guitar in church, no facial expression, just ding 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 ding, and just flat. So that's why I'm so animated. That's why he married me. I speak enough for the both of us. But I was going to say, if anybody, now this is a bit of a drive, I'm sure. This is a bit of a drive. But I just learned today from the good old Facebook that there is going to be a Bigfoot convention in Cumberland County, Tennessee. That's rural. And I can get there. Okay. Okay. Are you talking about Ernest T. Bass too? I love Ernest T. Bass. I would impersonate him a lot when I worked for the probation and parole department. My judge was not amused. I was. My judge was not amused. That's it, Ernest T. Bass, yeah. AMU Lance, yeah, I would do my Ernest T. Bass impressions for the judge, and he'd be like, Elizabeth, stop it. Oh, they did Big Ridge put up a Bigfoot, so that's hilarious. Oh, good Lord. Okay, now, you're going to have, okay, is that Mindy Honey? You're going to have to tell me about this. We're going to have to talk about this. Because, you know, I've had some strange things happen in my life. You know, where that man went missing and they found his skull last year, they finally, a few weeks ago, did identify and clarify to the family, yes, it was him. They got the proof back. I ginsenged and hog hunted, deer hunted down there my whole life. And then on the backside, I cut horse trails for 3 years. So I've, like, probably been where he was when he passed, or very close. And I've seen some, you know, and down in there's a couple times down in the ginseng, and I had some weird vibes. And there was one time I kept hearing something up over the ridge, and I did a Bigfoot video about this. Gosh, it's way down in my place. I'm gonna check this woman out. I will. But I kept hearing something walking up on the ridge, because when you ginseng, you work a bench, and it's a steep bench. And you work it, you go down, you go and you climb the next one, and then it's up and down, up and down, up and down, because it's a steep. And we had got to, we was on the top of this bench, and I was within 6 foot at the top. I kept hearing something walk. Lord, Maynardville. Yeah, I know where Maynardville is. Yeah, y'all have got a big old junkyard up there that's handy, I tell you that. So I kept hearing something. I thought, what is that? And I looked at my husband, because he had a pew-pew, you know. I just had a digger, which was, I guess, lethal enough. And I was like, go look. And he was like, And he was just digging ginseng. He don't care. He's 6 foot, 250. Unless you're here, you're not a problem. I just adore him because he's so calm. And I was like, I want to know what it is. Go see. And he was like, no. And I was like, fine, I'm going to go see. So, you know, I ninja crawl up this bench. And I grab a sapling and I wait to hear the ch. It was 2 legs. I'm not stupid. It was 2 legs. And it wasn't a squirrel. It wasn't a chipmunk. It wasn't a weasel. And I wait for it to actively make noise. And I pop up. There's nothing. You can't even see where leaves are turning over, where something has walked. And I'm like, weird. So I pop back down. I look at my husband. I'm like, nothing. Okay. And he's like, I don't know. You know, and I'm like, maybe it was a bear or something that was just lumbering and went up a tree. So I wait to hear it again. And I'm like, I'm going to get you now. And I pop back up. Like a little whack-a-mole. I pop back up. Nothing. There was nothing there. By that time, I was amused. So I was like, okay, this is kind of funny. And I looked at my husband and I was like, there's nothing. And I was like, that's a little weird. So when we got to the bottom of that bench, we went to cross the bottom to swag to go to the next one. There's a big old cave down in the bottom. And I looked at my husband and I said, let's just go. Oh, yeah, like a Facebook watch party. Do they do those anymore? Yeah, I reached out to Sharon last night to touch base with her because she had been being harassed, dadgummit, so much by, you know, there's some not nice people in the world, and I think they all flock to Twitter and YouTube. And so she had gotten a little bumfuzzled with some of the behavior she had witnessed. And I calmed her down and I was like, listen, I was like, I honestly do not know who I heard, but whoever I heard was callous about having a leak and thought it was information she immediately needed to share with the world. And I said, it concerned me enough, I made the video. I said, if it had been something I thought you had shared, I said I would have messaged you and talked to you personally. If it had been somebody I knew, I would have said, hey, listen, here's your name. Can me and you have a talk? Can you call me, video chat me, do something? Because I would have reached out personally. But since I didn't know, I just did a open education. And I got some hate, so I made a snarky little video with TCA code in it. I can be a turd. Oh my goodness. That's hilarious. Mindy, you're going to give me the giggles here in a minute. But I swear I don't know what that was that I heard in the woods that day. And my husband, of course, he doesn't care. And so, I want to know what it was. So, I'm going to go to the Bigfoot Convention in Crosswoods October 16th. A lot of people have backed away. And that's kind of, you know, and that's why I only do, like, responses about, like, the interviews the parents have done and made public or law enforcement information. Because if you let it consume you and you live in it and you stew in it, it's not good for you. I mean, I know everybody's like, how can you not think about that little girl? Me and Jesus talk about it every day. And that's sometimes it's the only person I need to talk to about it. And I don't, a lot of people get intoxicated by the adrenaline that they get from the story and the dopamine hits and, the chemical. You just can't do it. You just have to back away. And so that's why I do some days where I do funny stuff. Y'all, if you've walked a murder scene and done a PSI for murder, you just understand that there's some days you just need to not be serious at all. Because life can be gone in 5 seconds. So enjoy. Don't always focus on the negative. Look at the positive. My husband gets irritated because something bad happened. Like, what was it? We had to drop a new motor in his truck. He took his truck, at 83 flatbed Chevy. He loves his truck because he's a lumberjack. And he took his truck out, and the engine, he had just put like brand new rims and tires on it. And he had done a bunch of engine work the year before, but he knew he was going to have to fix some other stuff, but he was wanting to get the tires on it for trapping season stuff. And then boom, his engine broke down. And I looked at him, I said, "But you got really good tires and rims." And he was like, "Shut up." And I was like, well. So we had to get another motor. We put another motor in it. And luckily our son is just enough of a little redneck savant. Redneck savant. I'm going to tag that. That's my words. That he put it in. And we learned about like the low input pumps and stuff. And oh my gosh. But yeah, we got it done. Really? Wow. And we've got a couple of local people missing that have blipped off the radar in very odd ways. And one of them is an ex-probationer that I had on probation. They could not find him. They kicked the file to me and said, if you can't locate him, we're going to put him in the absconder files. And so I went digging, and lo and behold, I dug him up, and he called me back one day, and I said, "Listen, I'm gonna give you 14 days to get your butt back and turn yourself in, and I won't amend the warrant and put any new charges on it, but I need you to come turn yourself in." And he said, "I'll be there next week. I'll be there Tuesday." And he had told his mama was keeping daily contact with me, and he never showed up, and he's missing. We can't find him, and I probably was the last person to talk to him, and that terrifies me. So we've got a couple that have blipped off the radar. I'm watching a couple of Facebook pages, and they're starting. Have you noticed how many have you noticed the Amber Alerts lately and stuff? So it's kind of like when you get a new vehicle, then you realize everybody else drives that same vehicle. You get something that really hits you, you start seeing it everywhere. Oh Lord, you're up early in England. I'll take some breakfast tea. I'll make you mad though, because I want milk in mine. That's scary. I'm gonna have to look into that. We've got some missing too, and it's a scary thought. But the world's getting to be a pretty dangerous place. It's a pretty bad place. I probably know more bad things about it than most people, and I sit down some days and just wonder how we got here, how we got so toxic, how you can, like, I sat here the other day just behooved. How people will justify threatening the life of somebody because they got a pronoun wrong. And it's not been a pronoun that it's been a pronoun that they've created in their head, that they put on their LinkedIn or their social media, that they think everybody in the world should know. I'm sorry, I don't say them, they, whatever. So if you created a word, how am I supposed to know that? And if I misgender you, can you not politely say, "I prefer this," instead of threatening to beat somebody's behind? And so you can do, hellacious things over things like that could be clarified so quickly. But if you just quote Tennessee state law, you're an asshole. And I'm just like, I really worry about this world, and hey, if you come up and tell me you want to be called the illustrious potentate, I will gladly tell you that Ray Stevens came up with it first, but if that's what you want to be called, I will call you that. You may call me Bubba. But, we got to be nice to each other. Did you switch out and start whipping? Could you imagine, like, I'm a heifer, and I know I'm a heifer. I'm not your average person. I realize that. I'm strange. I'm mean. I'm big and burly, and I'm rather mannish at times. And I would, my husband, he was like, when he left today, he's like, have a good evening, hun. And I was like, you try to have a good night, too. And he's like, protect the property. You know, he says something stupid like that or something, you know, to make me kind of giggle. And he's like, you're the man of the house when I'm gone. And I'm like, by golly, I know it. You know, we always are kind of irritating with each other like this. And but he sit down, you know, he has sat down many times and been like, I really worry that somebody will break in. And he's like, you'll call 911 after you've laid them on the floor. He's like, I'm just really concerned. And I was like, no, I wouldn't do that. I'm gonna call out and give you a warning first. But no, I'm not wasting no lead. But I mean, I am really nice. I am, and I genuinely do care for everybody. But I have very healthy boundaries. See, and everybody's trying to, you know, it used to be people wanted to be unique. Well, now uniqueness has got taken to a whole nother level. And I just say be you, but now if I'm just tell people I'm just me, I'm not unique enough. And I'm like, but I thought it was all about being who you are. Yeah, but you're not unique enough. You know, and I'm like, okay. I did have purple hair a couple of years ago. That was really cute. Might go back to that, actually. But, and I just look at people and I go, listen, I understand gender dysphoria, and I understand the psychology behind it. And I have seen cases where I have seen them actually transition, and it's like, and they do well. And then I've seen them transition and they still have the same issues that they thought transitioning would conquer. And I'm like, it's because you didn't take care of the root issue, and that was just a distraction that you thought would be a band-aid to fix everything, and it didn't fix everything. And they got really mad at me, and I'm like, I would love for somebody to be that honest with me. I would love for somebody to be that honest with me. I know the rules change every minute or two. Yeah, I know. I feel like I'm playing catch up all the time. Sharon is still on. I spoke with Sharon last night. Bless her heart. She was a little bumfuzzled, timid, but I talked with her and she felt better after we talked. So, hey, you know something? I like you, but I don't like you that much. But I'm here to tell you, before you say words to me like that, you gotta buy me dinner. That is so impolite. There are razors. Now you can join the $5 Shade Club, you little turd. You just, you know, you picked the wrong channel, son. This is going to get fun. I've got to be silly some days, guys. I handle such serious stuff on a daily basis most of the time that I just want to, you just have to be silly. You just have to go heck with it sometimes and have a good time. I know, and that was interesting, wasn't it? I love telemarketers too. They get really irritated with me too. Yeah, how do I do mods? 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 Add moderator. Priscilla, you're a moderator. I just gave you a job. You want a job? Blocking people, or send them to the $5 Shave Club, where hairy people that have that inclination can find help. Not sponsored. That was strange. Oh, Lord. Yeah, you gotta be funny some days. You can't, I mean, you cannot live life in the extremes. You have to just kind of find a little honey hole and kind of say, okay. Oh, somebody's wanting to go to bed. Look. Somebody's sleepy. Don't tell him he's having surgery on the 29th. Shh, he doesn't know. He don't have a clue, bless his little heart. He's sleepy. He wants to go to bed. He's like, Mama, go to bed. But I wanted to tell you about the Bigfoot Festival. It's October the 16th in Cumberland County, Tennessee at the fairgrounds. Only $5 to get in, and Mike Schneider will be singing. If you know Mike Schneider, Dominicker Chicken is my favorite song of his. You got to come see Mike Schneider. Hey, I had breakfast for dinner last night. I did the same thing. Bring him to me. I gave her a wrench. She's lethal now. will turn anything into a funny. Like, you know, when those women, you know, it was mostly women that sent me nasty messages about that video. So I was sitting here going, so much for woman love and power. I guess we took our pink hats off and we're not friends anymore. So I was just like, okay, people. But I was like, I'm not going to respond to you. I mean, you sat down and spewed toxic energy at me for 10 minutes to type and send that. And you took that out of your day. I'm not giving you that. I just read them and laughed at the errors and rolled them on up. So, I had a mean Dominicker chicken too, little rooster. He was a turd. Oh, thank you. Yeah, hit the like button. Like button. I can talk. And tell everybody to sub if they like to giggle. If they're combative and angry, don't. But we're going to be having power outages around here for 2 days because they are grooming the trees. That's where I live. So the next couple days may be thin for me because if I'm not here and I don't have power, I'm going to go help my mother with my granny down under the mountain. And I'll have power but not internet. So I'll try to video and do a couple things, but it'll be when I get back and we have power that I can share it. Red Hat Society for you. I read a book that had a Red Hat Society. I read 7 or 8 books at a time. My husband hates that. I think I have about 8 in rotation right now. And I'm reading Temple Grandin's book for like the 3rd time because I think Temple Grandin should be celebrated by everybody. Well, our mountains and roadsides are so overgrown, they've got to do something. And they've had a lot, with the storms, they've had a lot of damaged power lines. And especially ice storms in the winter, we had 5 days without power. And you know, I lived in the woods in the wilderness with the cabins and the kids and cooked over fire. And I don't mind to cook on my wood stove, and I don't mind to keep the house warm with a wood stove. But I mind having to go outside and get my milk out of a redneck fridge, which is a Tupperware buried in the snow for y'all. You know, I like my creature comforts. So I'm glad that they're trimming the trees, but 2 days. But it's because I'm in an adjoining area, so it can affect me both days. I should have looked at the map before I bought here. I think you just have to make Priscilla, I think you just need to make a StreamYard account. And I will look at that tonight and tomorrow. And I think if you just make a StreamYard account, then when you go live, you can invite anybody. They don't have to, because I don't have an active account, but you can send a link to anyone to join, but to send a link, you have to have an account. So I'm going to create an account, you need to create an account, and then we can start doing some talking. So, do I have a spring? What'd you say? We've got a freshwater spring down the hill right behind our house in a creek. You have a wonderful night too. I'm sorry I'm so late. Okay, well, I need to get one. So you can send a link to pull people in already. I waited for the 1,000 subs to go live because I'm slow at this, apparently. And because I was going through so much, it wasn't like priority #1 at the moment, so it's okay. But yeah, so as long as you have an account, you can send a link to anyone. They don't have to have an account. But I am not fluent in StreamYard, but I need to make an account so that I can actually do lives and pull people in too. But I guess as long as you send out links and they click, you can pull in. I've seen 6 and 7 on panels before, so I guess it's quite a few. I need to learn to shut up if we're going to have 5 or 6 people in the room, because I talk too much. But yeah, Bigfoot, the Bigfoot Festival in Cumberland County, Tennessee, October 16th from 9 to 4 Central Time. Mike Schneider will be singing, which I love him. And then I think Matt Moneymaker and Cliff Brockman from Finding Bigfoot are going to be there. Yeah, Matt Moneymaker. I like Cliff. And then Buck and Jeff from Mountain Monsters are going to be there. So I'd love to meet them. Mindy, honey, I'm glad you stopped by. Don't ever worry. Just stop by and say howdy when you can. appreciate your time. I know y'all give me your time, and I appreciate your time. Okay, we can work on that. Yeah, if you want to, get hold of Sharon, if I can catch her later, I may talk to her about it. But with the next couple of days and the power outages and stuff, and me being up and down the mountain, it may take me toward the end of the week to get in touch with her. But I'll definitely, I'm up for that. Definitely up for that. I would like to actually do a video about the neurological effects of child abuse at different ages, and what happens and how to correct it and stuff. And it's just a lot. Like, I could sit down and talk about it for 3 hours. We don't want to do that. So it's just something I need to sit down and make bullet points so I don't completely go off topic, because I will. And God knows what we would be talking about, because I can do that. But there's some days I just want to make kids laugh. And then there are other days that I have to be very serious about things. But because things got so serious last week and people got so belligerent, and they really thought they were going to get to me, and that I was going to, they were like going to see me sobbing on YouTube or something. I just had to be snarky with the last one and be like, here it is, since you can't seem to look anything up. And then I just wanted to be funny for a while. And because there's so much energy, negative energy actually, going into that topic right now, that I don't want to be part of it right now. I know people crack me up with the things they will not do. Yeah, Pink Floyd, yeah. It's the Dark Side of the Moon. I love band shirts. My husband is like, because I always have on a Queen shirt or some band shirt, and he's like, oh my God, like, how many do you have? And I'm like, I took over half of your dresser too. But I usually wear Queen shirts, but they're thicker, so I normally wear them in the winter. So, and I normally go to the North American Queen Convention every year, and boy, that's been ruined here lately. But that was normally my one trip a year, and I would wait all year for that. And that's my second family, and I haven't seen them in forever. Now what are you sending me? Are you wanting me to jump in on yours? Are you on right now? Is this how we do this? How you doing? We're trying to figure out YouTube. So this is, I've already had Redneck Tech 101 and 102. This is apparently 103. So if I push that link, it shouldn't shoot me off. It should bring me to your live. Or join us. Y'all want to try? Y'all want to see if I can get into Priscilla's live? Will you all jump over there too? Nova Scotia, Canada. My good Lord, I couldn't throw a rock that far. I've always wanted to go to Prince Edward Island. Subbed at Priscilla. Okay, Priscilla. Now, how many of you will jump over if I jump to Priscilla? Will ya? Priscilla is from West Virginia. She's from the heart of Appalachia. She's basically just like me. You're not like, well, why did you send me a link? Well, we're going to get this together. We're going to do a live, me and Priscilla, or me, Priscilla, and Sharon. We'll get it together. We'll get it together. We'll get our topics ironed out. We're going to do a live. And so that will be an Australian and 2 Americans having a discussion about kind of current events and probably a little bit about the case and stuff. And, you know, what we've been handling on YouTube and stuff. Oh, okay. You're a mountain girl, but way down on the coast for now. Hey. My daughter, I think, will end up in southern Georgia or northern Florida. I am too well insulated for the deep, swampy south. Pilot Mountain. Oh, thin air up there. It's beautiful, though. We used to go to Maggie Valley every year to the Clogging Championships. Oh, okay. I just saw a link because I'm half blind on this little phone. I'm gonna get it set up for my iPad so I can see more and do more instead of just having this little tiny thing. And then I may be dangerous on YouTube Live. I might be able to do some techie stuff. Y'all might be scared. But the thing I did this morning to make us laugh, when I go onto TikTok, if I watch something and I don't care if it's just me and the dogs. If it makes me verbally say something back to the screen, I'm just like, okay, and I just record it. And then if it's truly funny or I said something truly funny, I'll video record. Or if something I think is just weird, I'll video record and I'll do a video about it later. And on TikTok, if you have not subbed to Captain_Howdy3, he is hilarious. And he's struggling to get subs, but he's got really funny, good, humorous country content. And he's got a rooster whose name is Bumblefoot. And so you have a Bumblefoot series. And when it's a Bumblefoot show, it's like Bumblefoot was taped before live studio. And it's really funny. It's really cute. Yeah, email her. And I get her through Instagram, but I don't know if she wants me to share that or not. So I will try to get her information. If you can't get in touch with her, let me know, and I'll get it and make sure that I can give it out and get it for you and pass it on. And we'll do a live. We need to talk about this YouTube community stuff and behavior and the momentum and motives and because this could be used for some really powerful good, and I would like to see that, for humor and sharing provoking thoughts, and for people that need support, that need a supportive group to share with, or just listen, because sometimes it's nice to just listen to somebody else that can kind of make you not feel that you've been so swallowed up in the world, and other people are handling hard stuff too. And so when I get on and I immediately run into the hate, and it's like, and I had one woman in the comments be like, well, honey, people say, well, those kids don't need to see this when they get older. And I know that was reference to me. She's like, but that psychic medium stuff is worse. They talk about, and I said, listen, that psychic medium stuff, we can't prove or disprove. It's basically entertainment, and it's their imagination and what they think. I said, it's very different from getting actual physical information that is private. And I said, I don't have a problem with psychic mediums and stuff. It just, you have to go through 25 to find one that you really can connect with and feel that you could trust. And okay, you've got it, that's good. And so I don't want to put that much time into trying to find somebody that I can trust, because that's not a very super important topic to me. That genre is not. But I thought that comparison is so wrong. And these kids are going to go through enough. And there's lots we can talk about. Just do it right. But yeah, I got a lot of hate for that, and I'm like, I don't care. I've been heckled by families walking out of courtrooms. I've had to have security walk me to my vehicle. It's just life at this point. I had a lady on Facebook get mad at me the other day. They wanted to shut the schools down in this area, and I said, listen, as a former tutor for AmeriCorps, that's not a wise idea. We don't have enough people that have the capability of virtual learning, and we don't have enough literate parents to truly help, especially in secondary education levels. And I said, we've already lost so much. We're going to be so far behind. We're going to have a generation, 2 generations that are going to be struggling. We need to think about this. And who do you think you are? Because she was perfect. With her perfect hair and her perfect clothes and her perfect Tahoe and her perfect children, her perfect plate of brownies at the perfect PTO meeting. And I was just like, tutored for AmeriCorps, for children with special needs, learning issues, and I also had to teach illiterate parents how to read so that they could help their children. Kind of got to know the area really well. And I know the deficits, because that's what I had to focus in. And it's scary when when our kids in the country are just now starting with technology to get closer and have more opportunities, and they just want to take them way over it's an odds game. I'm willing to play those odds. Yes, I don't have a problem with it, and there's some that I think truly have a gift. And it's just, you have to really sort through a lot of them, and by the time you listen to 5 or 6 that are really just pure entertainment and for the money, you're just like, I can't do this for 3 more weeks. We'll try a couple more out in another month, but I just can't do it anymore right now. You know, and a lot of it is pure psychology. Like, okay, who is here that's really invested in the message that can type really quick? And will give me stuff. Will give me quick answers to just non-specific questions. Well, don't know, jump in it once. Okay, here we go. Rebecca Fudge. Okay, Rebecca, what is your favorite color? And if you were a dog, if you could be any breed of dog, what breed of dog would you be? Okay. If you could make any meal with your family at a sit-down dinner, what would you eat? And if you could take one vacation that you remember as a child as perfect and take that vacation again as an adult, where would you go? Okay, Priscilla. Okay. So you're rather vivacious, extroverted, but there are times that you completely climb inside yourself and block the world out, put a shield up. And you're either super loyal or you have nothing to do with someone because you genuinely latch onto people, and if they don't latch back or show you that they're genuine, you completely don't trust them and you will drop it immediately. You like to spend time with people. You don't care to spend extra time with people that respect your time and give you that time back and give you that love back. And you enjoy the hearth of the home. But you're one of those people that gets a little stir crazy and has to travel just every little once in a while for sanity's purposes. How close or how far off was I? I always love to know. That's pure psychology. So a lot of it, when they start asking questions stuff, and they start playing those games, I'm like, nah. You know, because at least be honest. At least be honest how you know. You know what? You know, if you've read about psychology and decision making and gravitation and the representation of colors and auras, and you can ask these things and make these assumptions that are normally 70% correct. I used to freak the teenagers out that would come into therapy with that. They would be like, oh my God. Well, I appreciate you volunteering for that information, but I do that a lot. A lot of people like to play that game with me. When this video gets stuck up, if you respond and want me to reply to you, just answer the same questions in the comments and I will reply to you. But it's pure psychology. But now I do believe that there are people out there that have special gifts. And I get vibes. I would get vibes from people all the time. And I'd go with them. I would also put a piece of candy on my desk because that told me a lot about substance abuse. And people would be like, a bowl of candy? And I'm like, yeah. Because, like, anyone that's just going to trigger anybody, be aware. If I put that bowl of candy out, if it was someone that had a heroin problem, they moved their jaw in a very specific way. If it was somebody that had an opiate addiction, they would take soft candy, not hard candy, because of teeth issues. A meth offender would not take candy at all because it hurt too much to eat it. And if they were guilty of something, I asked to drug screen them and they wouldn't take candy at all, and they sat there and fidget, you know, I knew we had a problem. But I could almost always pick what we were fixing to find in the urine because when I would say we're going to have to do a dress run today, they would reach in that candy bowl, or they'd start fidgeting and doing something that would tell me what we were fixing to find. And I was pretty good at it. Like my co-officers are like, you're weird. And I'm like, I just pay attention to people. If we gave attention to people like we used to, we'd have a better society, because people used to actually pay attention to each other and know really, deep things about each other. We don't anymore. We barely know who lives next to us. And like, there was people in my community, as small as it is, put on the chit chat page of the town, my neighbor got flown out and she has a little dog in the house that I can hear barking. I don't know if she has anybody taking care of it or family in the area or anything. Who do I call? How long have you lived there? 8 years. You have never said hello to your neighbor in 8 years? Who are you? Do you live in the burbs with Tom Hanks? Yep. And I think the people that come to my page that latch onto those, that latch onto me, are people that probably have a lot of the same, get the same vibes. I'm really good with animals too. I think a lot of it may come from where I grew up on farm and had to deal with animals, because you can't communicate with animals, you have to do body language. And I got really good at reading my animals, and people are just bigger animals, sometimes dumber animals too. So I got really good at it, but it's funny. But I just jumped on. I need to shut up, but I always get on here. I love talking to everybody. Yep. Well, I guess some of us are lucky to be rural, and so we're a little protected. But I was like, if we lived back in the old times, it would be harder, but we would probably be much better people, because people would treat each other better, because people would need each other to make it. Gout, cherries, wild raw cherries. Don't eat the pits. Or if you can get cherry juice, cherries. My husband had to take a whole lot of gout medicine once, and it did nothing for him, so we started with cherries. And the raw cherries, if he ate raw cherries or drank like pure cherry juice, it would clear up. It would eat away the acid that had, the crystals that had gone in and blocked his joints. And that's the only thing that we found out would help. That's the only thing that helped my husband. Cherries. And you got to get the raw. You got to get, the real raw fruit in the little bags that you tote home now, like grapes. And be careful, don't crack a tooth on a pit. But that's all that we could find for him. And when he got tired of chewing on them, I would juice them, and he would drink it. I would mix it in with other stuff and make him a smoothie or something. But that's all that ever worked for him. And he had horrible gout for a while. Horrible gout. And he hasn't had any issues with gout now in 4 or 5 years. And if he feels the first tingle of a flare, we go get cherries and cherry juice. So that may be helpful. Give it a try. I'm not a doctor, but my husband does that and it works for him. I was say marshmallow root's good for inflammation, so you might want to look at marshmallow root too. Oh no, I'd make a trip to the local herb store and start talking to somebody. If you've got a big grocery store, you may be able to get them any time of year. If you don't, then go to the freezer section and see if you can get the as raw, like with as few as additives as possible in a freezer bag, and get a freezer bag full of them. So that's what sometimes we would have to do, depending on when the truck ran to our grocery store, because we only have one really good grocery store here. The rest are just little tiny stop in, get bread, milk, and go on. So that may be it. I mean, if the worst thing somebody can tell you is to eat a bowl full of cherries, that's pretty good. It might help. But if any of you are in driving distance, like it's a little bit of a drive, not super terrible, but I'm making plans on being there on October 16th for the Bigfoot Festival. It's $5 to get in. I'm sure they'll have craft vendors and stuff, but it's supposed to be it's the first one. It's supposed to be a really great little family-oriented day. Plantain, yeah. I use plantain. If I get skeeter bit or cut myself outside, I'll use plantain as a Band-Aid or chew it and stick it on the skeeter bite. People look at me like I'm crazy, but it works. Rebecca, honey, thank you. I love your name, Fudge. I'm going to remember you from everybody now. Drop in when you can. I appreciate your time. You don't always have to stay the whole talk. I just talk. The hind leg off a mule, but I talk. But Bigfoot Festival, Priscilla D's channel. Go show Sharon at Down Under Crime Talk some love. Great channel, especially if you have a history of trauma or abuse in your life. Great, great content in the chat, the comment section with the subs. They're great people. Absolutely wonderful little group. Priscilla is starting to give you a deeper look in the West Virginia type Appalachia areas, and we're going to be trying to make a little trifecta so we can do some talks and create a little community of supportive and great people. Yeah, it's the Down Under Crime Talks. Sharon's got a really great heart. Her heart's in the right place. And I really think that when she gets a little bit more YouTube speaker savvy, she's gonna rock YouTube, because she has a really soothing voice, and so you can listen to her talk about rougher topics and not feel like you're being emotionally dragged through the mud. Morden Mountain. I have never heard of that. Where is that? Morden Mountain. I've heard a lot of mountains. I ain't heard of that one. Is that the West Virginia too? I'll give Kazi a treat. Cuckoo. Here, a treat. Good boy. Go be a good boy. Trying to keep him awake so he won't go to sleep till I go to bed. Hey, you know, if we get a big enough community and my health stays good, I'm up for that. I'm cool with that. I wouldn't say no to that. I think a lot of us are, I've got some people from like Nova Scotia and England and Ireland, but I think I'm getting a lot of like North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Tennessee, and Georgia people, and I'm like, we could do something with that. I'm certainly wouldn't care to do that. I go to if Queen Nation ever plays at the 37 Main Cafe in Buford, Georgia, I go watch them. And road trips are cool. If I'm feeling good, I'll do a road trip. There you go. Yeah, you were the one that, yeah. Okay, so yeah, we could all do something. You're close enough. I'm going to know that now. I'm going to remember that mountain is there, and I added a wrinkle to my brain right then. But, okay, so October 16th, Bigfoot Festival in Cumberland County, Tennessee. 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you can come, I'm making plans to be there. Unless I'm in the hospital, I'm going to be there. Oh, Lord, I don't even know if I can say that. And I think my son's going to go. I don't know if my husband, it depends on his work schedule. But it's supposed to be a family-oriented, 5 Bucks to get in, Mike Schneider singing, Matt Moneymaker, Cliff Brockman, Jeff and Buck from Mountain Monsters. I mean, hey, we spend a lot of time in Cades Cove and Townsend. We go to the Smokies, we go to Townsend and spend our time in Cades Cove. So yeah, I wanted to tell about that and then drop those 2 channels, because Sharon normally goes, she's in Australia, so she normally goes live starting now or anytime soon. So go Down Under Crime Talk, see if she goes live tonight. If she does, check her out if you're awake. She's got a soothing voice, easy to listen to, good community, great people. And then Priscilla D, she's showing us the backwoods of West Virginia, and we're going to be working together to do some lives. We're going to make a network of good, solid people that are good people. It's not about clicks, likes. It's about the quality of your community that you create. See? I just must send out a vibe to say, hey, all my fellers that live like glorified billy goats on the edge of cliffs, come find me on YouTube. Because I live on the plateau, so literally if I go anywhere, I have to slide off the mountain. So if I leave my house, it's like, and it's like, ugh. And then I have to climb it to go back home. Even to go to my parents. That would be great. Oh my gosh. I tell you what, if you could do that, And then if you wanted to do a chit chat to like compare like society and culture and stuff like that, I'm down for that. I will like get up whatever time you is good for you. I will get up and we will do a live. Yeah, you're working. You're making the money, so I'd say YouTube keeps you awake at night. I don't know. That's difficult to do at night. I'm a night owl, but night shifts. Whew, that's rough. It takes a certain kind of person to be able to do that. It's rough. But I've got a little tired Yorkie, and I've got a pug that's staring at me going, Mama, I need to go potty. So I'm going to get my boys ready for bed. But go give Sharon some love. Go sub to Priscilla D. Show Priscilla some love. And a couple days, I've got some power outages, got some tree pruning. I live in the sticks. But if you don't see me for a couple days, don't freak out. I will be back toward the end of the week. And probably have something prepared or in the works so that we can have a chit chat about something I'm working on and mentally start focusing on the next topic so we can kind of get away from this one that's got us all emotionally in upheaval right now. Yeah, he goes out, and we got this little Yorkie, and of course he's so tiny I'm afraid a hawk or something will pack him off, because we have hawks and eagles here too, because they like to, the eagles come up from Delhala at odd times of the year and terrorize us. And so he's just a little tiny Yorkie. No, I don't want him to be packed off. So we broke him to potty pads. And we thought when he gets bigger and older and fleshes out a little bit, we'll let him go out with his brother. He'll be safer when he's older. And my pug, who was never given the option to be, you know, potty trained in the house, pad trained, when that little puppy started using those potty pads, he would look at me like, you have her. I never got to do that. He gets so mad at me. There you go. Well, you can read that 50,000 times and it hits you different every time, don't it? Every verse will. That's one of them good thought-provoking books. Yeah, everybody should sit down with it. I've been quoting Ephesians 6:12 a lot lately. It gets scary. But I think we've got a great community, great people. I was amazed that there was like 20 show up when I got on here. So I appreciate you sticking around with me. I like to chit-chat. But couple days you're gonna have to go without me, ladies. So Priscilla, chit chat with Sharon, then get back with me. And as soon as the electric lines and these adjoining roads get cleared, and because we're gonna like 6 or 8 hours without power each day, so I'm just gonna go down the mountain and help Mom, because rather than be here and be useless. So if you just don't miss me, you know, if you don't hear from me for a couple of days, I'm okay. Just ain't got no Wi-Fi or power, and I'll be back as soon as I get it back. So just chill, I'll be back as soon as I can. Send everybody to me, tell them to sub, tell them we're going to start doing amazing things with this channel. We're going to build a great community, and as I'm more healthy and able to get out and do more videos about things in the area, when I go places, I will take you with me and I will bring you along for the ride. So lots more stuff to be looking forward to. See? I've been hearing some old-timey preacher men from my youth come back in my head the last few months. And I'm like, I've been prepared my whole life for this, and it's like, I can hear all those old preacher men from my childhood now. I remember the words they said, and I'm like, yep. And that's probably why I'm handling things better than most, because I think I've just been prepared. When you grow up and you understand and you see what's going on, you're just prepared. You just, when it happens, you're like, oh, here we are. And you know why we're here. But that's okay. My husband said, he said, I'm amazed you lived through this year because I got so close to meningitis. And I was like, yeah, between the RSD and then the mastoid and temporal bone fracture and then the infection that almost became meningitis and the antibiotics that almost killed me by the time it killed the infection. I said, I don't think Jesus was in any hurry to take me. I don't guess he's ready for me to move in quite yet. Because after the year I've had, if, you know, watch something really little take me out. I will stub my toe. And I don't know what takes me out after I've lived through this entire year. Oh, that would be me. Hey, how you doing? This has been a long one. I'm fixing to log off for the night, but I'm glad you showed up. It will show up, like, I can see it in my videos, but it takes YouTube a while to flip it over to just like pop up on the regular screen. I don't know why. YouTube's strange, but yeah, go back, listen, chime in. We're trying to get everybody to come to the Bigfoot Convention in Cumberland County, Tennessee on October 16th. And we're building a little trifecta between some channels, good-hearted people, good community, positive things. So share the channel and get a lot of people here. And y'all, when my power comes back on in a couple days, pray that the tree trimmers work fast and that there are no electrical issues. Praise Lord. And so hopefully maybe just be one day. But as soon as they get done with that stuff and I can get back up here, then we'll start going into new subjects, lighter subjects, some education, and we're going to pull away from what everybody else is so hyper-focused on right now, because you know something? You just can't stand in a mud puddle without getting your toes wrinkled. And everybody's upset about the sore feet right now, but they ain't smart enough to get out of the rain in the mud puddle. So we're going to step out of the puddle for a while and venture somewhere else and give our bodies time and our brains time to just kind of decompress. And then we'll start learning some stuff, and every once in a while we'll address an issue there. But we're gonna do some other stuff, learn some country stuff. We'll go between country and psych and culture and stuff like that. So it'll be good. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a ride. God knows what I will say every day to you. Just hang on. But we're building a good community of good, solid people. None of the hate, none of the bashing. None of that. Just good education, honest, integrity, solid, happy, peaceful. That's it. This is going to be an Appalachia hippie commune. So pass the word along. Let's amp the community up between me and Priscilla D and Sharon at Down Under Crime Talks. Let's get these communities latched, because we're gonna have a very special view of the world between the three of us, and it's going to be interesting to see. So make sure you stay connected, and as soon as my power comes back on after they get done, I will be back. I love you all. Have a good night. Oscar's got to pee. Bye, y'all.